Hi everyone, this is Kristen Burke, and this is my program evaluation report. Here's my table of contents. I have an executive summary, a statement of purpose, background information. My evaluation strategies are listed here, conclusions and recommendations, references, and then the bulk of my table of contents is the list of these appendices. These are primarily surveys. I did have a couple of other documents that I thought were relevant to the study. Here's my executive summary, and I just kind of gave a description of the co-requisite program. The first year writing co-requisite program was adopted in 2018, and its aim is to provide additional support for students with learning gaps and low test scores during their first semesters of college. The program aims to enhance writing and critical thinking skills and ensure retention and student success. And then I sort of just outline how I will collect data to indicate points of success and failure in all of Kirkpatrick's levels: reaction, learning, behavior, and results. Most of these, as you could probably tell from my table of contents, involve surveys. A lot of surveying. Okay. Here's my statement of purpose. My report assesses the first year writing co-requisite program's effectiveness in identifying strengths, deficits, and overall impact on student satisfaction and performance. And then I have a very lengthy background information section just because I thought it was important to explain what the program even is and what it replaced. So as probably everyone knows, English 101 and 102 are generally required general education courses, and placement is typically determined based on ACT scores. That has changed a bit in recent years, but traditionally you would just meet, or a student would meet a benchmark score on their reading and writing portion of the ACT or other standardized tests, and that would indicate their placement for English 101. Up until the adoption of the co-requisite program, we had developmental classes, which were non-credit bearing English 101 classes. So a student who did not benchmark would be placed into this sort of remedial class. They would take that for a semester, would not receive any college credit for that class, and then, excuse me, and then they would be eligible to take 101 in the following semester. That, of course, was sort of a controversial program because students don't really want to take a class that they don't receive credit for. And so we looked for a long time, or the department looked for a long time for replacements for that. And co-requisite options emerged as being the most promising since they do offer so much additional support. So students who take co-requisite courses sort of enter into a learning contract. So they take English 101 at the same time that they take their GSD class, which is sort of an orientation class. I think GSD stands for General Student Development. So they take those two classes at the same time. In addition, they spend extra time in the classroom, so it's a 4-credit-hour course as opposed to a 3-credit-hour course. They get that English 101 or 102 credit, full credit for that, and then they also have an in-class writing tutor who supports them as well. So it's sort of throwing a lot of resources at the students to help them catch up and meet those developmental needs, as well as giving them the credit that they deserve for having taken the class. So it was a pretty popular and favorably received program when we adopted it, when the department adopted it. And but in recent semesters, and of course I think this is true across the board, but student performance has declined in the classes, and that sort of brought to my attention, because I was in this program and in this class, that we haven't really done an evaluation on that program to see its effectiveness and to look for maybe some areas of deficiency that we could improve and make more effective and impactful for the students. Excuse me. All right, so here I've listed my evaluation strategies and evaluation questions. So sort of what I had in mind when I was looking for data to answer each of these. And then my recommendations target all 4 levels, although of course the levels are different. Data collection to evaluate levels 1 through 3 would occur over the course of a single fall semester during the actual class while the class is taking place. And then data collection for the results could be evaluated the following semester. So we could do surveys for former students and also just look at student performance. I did want to emphasize the unique characteristics of the co-requisite courses, just to differentiate student performance and responses compared to regular English 101. And those characteristics include the additional class time that I mentioned earlier, the smaller class size. The co-requisite courses have a lower cap than regular English 101 and 102 classes. And then the CEC, which is the in-class writing tutor, and how they contribute to the course. And then the correspondence with the GESD course and learning contract goals. Okay, so here I just get into a little bit more detail about how student surveys and these other materials would be dispersed and how the data would be collected. So this is more of an action plan for implementing the surveys. Sorry, I'm trying to scroll slowly so that I'm not making anyone ill. No motion sickness on my watch. And I did want to point out that for part of the results data, I was actually able to access this because of the archives in our website and the university website. I did find pass rates and retention rates for students who had been in co-requisite courses. So that was cool that I was able to at least access some data that could indicate to me how the program actually is working in the long term. And then here's my conclusions and recommendations section. The main thing that I ended up recommending is just a more robust program for evaluation. So because of that realization that we didn't have anything like that built in, I wanted to emphasize the need for that and recommend that that be sort of baked into the courses. Here was a step-by-step set of recommendations: implement regular and comprehensive program evaluations, provide ongoing professional training and development, improve data collection by standardizing the course. I put Blackboard here because we are currently using Blackboard. That is switching over to Canvas, so I should have just put in the LMS, but again, because we use Blackboard now, that's what I stuck with. And then there are my references. And all my appendices again listed. And those, you can kind of see what those look like. This is our learning student learning outcomes for English 101. This is our grading rubric. I included that in here because it would be an important part of evaluation, collecting these graded rubrics for student performance evaluation from the instructors. And then these were the pass rates for last fall semester. And then here are just several surveys that I would implement at different moments during the semester to kind of collect data on a regular basis and to be able to use that in an effective way. All right, I think that's about it. And I apologize, my voice is a little scratchy. I've got allergies going on. I'm sure that's true for many of us in Kentucky. But thank you for paying attention, and have a happy spring break.